Dogpatch. Hello, John.
Hey, Dante.
What's happening today?
Oh, I'm just enjoying the air conditioning piping in here. This cool good.
The Frigidaire 5 billion BTU.
Got it going.
In effect, because it's a little bit warm in Chicago today, and this is one of the first shows we've done where there's been sun out. It's not raining.
Summer is here.
So today's show, we're going to explore the crevices, nooks, and crannies of the major label industrial complex today.
Why you want to do that?
Well, over the past probably 6 months since about Christmas, I've been processing a couple really big loads of 45s. By processing, I mean sitting down and looking at them, listening to them, deciding what I might keep, what I'm going to dump, etc. And in doing this, a lot of them were major label promos from the late 60s and early 70s. Rock, soul. Today we're going to focus on rock, folk rock, all of its various permutations. We're going to be listening to fare from Epic, RCA, Cotillion, Phillips, Cap, RCA. Did I already say RCA? Buddha, as we know. Mr. Bogart, who later ran Casablanca.
RCA.
Buddha. I'm just telling you, man, Neil Bogart was really doing big things. But
careful with that Buddha. I messed with Buddha in high school a little bit. And
did you mix?
GPA plummeted. Only when I started mixing it with isms.
Yeah, ism and Buddha. That's a recipe for disaster. So this isn't your normal fare. This is like I said, it's a 500 to 1 ratio for the most part. I listen to 500 shitty fucking records before I find one that I'm like, you know what, I can sit through the entire 2.5, 3 minutes of this. I might keep it. A lot of the times I just record it to a CD and then just dump the record somewhere. Most of it's rather obscure. In fact, all of it's pretty obscure. I should say that. We'll just get right into it. The first thing we're going to listen to is a group called Lucy Blue on Big Tree. Early 70s, I don't know what year. I have a sneaking suspicion this group is probably from Pittsburgh or Eastern Ohio, as it was produced by a local Pittsburgh DJ by the name of Terry Lee. But this is excellent stuff and a good way to start the show off. Fully realized early 70s psychedelic rock.
Beside me and wait for the day.
mighty big tree there, Dante.
Lucy Blue, Midnight Lover on Big Tree. It seems to be their only record. I'm really hoping that band is, in fact, from Ohio and not Western Pennsylvania.
They could be from North Carolina, though, man. Don't.
But that's a heavy sound. Like, it's really together. I'd love to hear a full length of that kind of music by a band like that. If there was an LP of that, that'd be a major, psychedelic rock
major piece.
Rarity. Yeah, even if it was on Big Tree, I think it'd still kind of be a keystone for that particular sound. Good songwriting too. So next, we're going to listen to Ruddy Mary on Cap. I think it's a dude. I don't think it's a band. I don't recognize any of the names production-wise on this particular thing. Pretty cool sound though. Seems to be his only record. Cap, pretty interesting stuff. They did the Linda Perhacs LP, which is probably their best known kind of like psychedelic rock rarity. There's other things as well, but on 45, it's a really hard hoe to row. Like, there's some real shit on there. But we're going to listen, I think, to 2 Cap records today. But in any case, this is Ruddy Mary, Sleepwalk in the Dark.
Like a blinding light, it's different than it seems. And I sleepwalk in the darkness and know my way. I sleepwalk and know my way. The nighttime shadows, there is peace and birds alive. Let the darkness be. Sonic is your side, and I sleepwalk in the darkness and know my way. Sleepwalk and know my way. The sound of the wind as it cries through the trees. Like the ocean's roar, but no one really sees. Sleepwalk. 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 Sleepwalk in the darkness and know my way. Sleepwalk and know my way. Sleepwalk. 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 Sleepwalk in the darkness and know my way. Sleepwalk and know my way.
Well, I hope the drummer got paid.
Yeah, he mixed it probably, it sounded like. So that was Ruddy Mary on Cap.
I love some twang, man. I just love. I don't want to, that's just my roots. But I love it when just that tiniest little touch of pedal steel comes in or something that just.
Yeah, there's a little country rock undercurrent in that thing too. Cap, tough going. Roger Williams. I was just reading here that the Breadwinner was in '64. They released "Hello Dolly" by Louis Armstrong.
Wow.
So that windfall allowed for Ruddy Mary, Silver Apples, all this weird shit that came out on the label that no one bought.
Dolly, my baby.
Lateral move here. Cap to Epic. Man, there's people think of RCA, Columbia, Capitol as having like the most stuff. Like those are the majors. Columbia, Capitol, RCA. Those are the majors. But man, Epic. I must have listened to fucking 400 Epic singles, most of which were
Rage Against the Machine.
Not that late. I think we might have had this conversation the other day. The breadwinner for Epic to allow them to do this was probably Sly Stone.
Yeah,
I think that must have been the thing that sold the most copies that allowed him to throw all this other shit at the wall and see.
Which is pretty righteous paper, but people had to do way worse to fund a bunch of experimental.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
one-offs.
Hello Dolly,
Yeah.
by Louis Armstrong. So next up on Epic, we're going to listen to a group called Calliope, a song called Ryan 5. And I'm pretty sure that this came out locally on a Michigan label. So this is coming from a more kind of like pop folk end of things, but it has one of the dudes in Calliope smoked a joint and was like, we got to get off this pop shit and into these new vistas, this new world of 60s psych.
You walk, some say that you glide, some say that you have a mind you can find. I've given my reasons for living and loving your kind, 'cause it doesn't seem to matter or to ever really make a bit of difference. I mean it for mine, but wait. My heart's like an open book. My heart's like an open book. No left that I can go. Nowhere left I can go. Gotta go home. Gotta go home. Gotta go home. Be on my own. Some say God is dead. Some say he's alive. Some say they don't care at all, and worlds can collide. I've given my reasons for living and loving your kind, 'cause it doesn't seem to matter or to ever really make a bit of difference. I mean it for mine. I mean, my heart's like an open book. My heart's like an open book. Nowhere left that I can go. Gotta go home, gotta go home, be on my own. You say you won't go away. You say you won't leave me now.
Some good grass.
Yeah. And, that's kind of typical of some of this major label stuff, that kind of pop element that we have happening there. But most of the records you're listening to on Epic, all the cool parts of that aren't there.
Yeah,
it's just the kind of like pop stuff. Mm-hmm. We're going to stay with Epic for this next record by a fellow named George Parks. So just let's look at this for a second. So Calliope was Epic 10372. George Parks is Epic 10614, so it's roughly 250 numbers, which probably was like a week
No doubt.
in Epic time, considering how much stuff they were just dumping out. This is arranged and produced by Barry Kornfeld, who I don't know, maybe he's related to Artie Kornfeld, who was the guy that produced Woodstock and all this other
Your
shit.
guess is as good as mine.
So I don't know who this guy is. George Parks is a good song, though. It's certainly folk coming from the Dylan School or whatever. Great sound, though. The song's called Catch the Day.
Gonna crawl into your arms until the night is through. Gonna hide inside your smile catch a day with you? Can I sit behind your eyes in the shadow of the blue? Can I be your mother's child? Can I catch a day with you? Can I climb onto your soul until the evening dew? Can I slide inside your love? Can I catch a day with you? Can I stand inside your mind? Can I catch a day with you? Will the sun forever shine? Can I catch a day with you? 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 Can I sit behind your eyes in the shadow of the blue? Can I be your mother's child? Can I kiss your day with you? Can I kiss a day with you? Can I catch a day with you? Can I catch a day with you?
I'm swooning.
Got pretty adventurous at the end there.
Yeah,
Kind of jazzy elements. George Parks, Catch the Day on Epic.
I'm with it. Let's go, George.
Mellow vibe. You called it Hammock?
Yeah, that middle part when they left the sweetener out, when it was just in the middle, kind of like some gentle breeze hammock pop. It was real
Even
sublime.
shitty horns couldn't kind of ruin the power of that song. It's a really good song.
Try as they might.
I think we're going to go through a couple mellow I mean, that was pretty mellow. We're going to stay with this kind of, we'll call it the hammock. We'll stay in the hammock,
Okay.
stay in the backyard. So this is a group called...
Bring me a drink.
This is a group called Midday Rain on RCA. Probably this is 70s, like 70, 71 probably. A song called Friday Morning. Both of these sides of this record are really, really good. I think some kind of soft rock, soft psych guys know about this. I had never seen it or heard of it until it came across my desk. And I ended up recording both sides because I liked both sides. The other side's a little bit faster, but this vibe is amazing.
Here Friday morning through the drizzling rain, the curtains rustle as she looks through the pane, tries to see him pass by away. Eyes deceive her, he's home to stay. Her life is shallow since he walked out the door. He used to write her, but he won't anymore. Talks to no one, loud as can be. Walks and wonders what happened to me. She used to be a lovely woman, hair of gold and voice of child. But now the lines crowd a smile, stay inside. curtains rustle as she looks to the pane. Wait so patient for just one thing. Haste to see it Friday morning. She used to be a lovely woman, hair of gold and voice of child. But now the lines crowd her smile, stay inside and fade with time. If Friday morning through the drizzling rain, the curtains rustle as she looks to the pane. If Friday morning through the drizzling rain, if
Supreme clientele.
So mellow. Yeah, that's a great vibe. Midday Rain on RCA, Friday morning with a U. Morning with a U.
I caught it.
Keeping it mellow, we're going to go to Columbia, an artist named A.M. Gately, a song called Battle in the City. I believe that A.M. Gately is, in fact, Michael Gately, who did a couple long players on Janice in the 70s. This thing's probably from 69 or something. Great song, really kind of intriguing lyrics and kind of what he's talking about. I've listened to it a few times, and I still haven't quite got exactly what it's about.
Did you go to Rap Genius?
No, and Who Sampled didn't offer me anything on this one either. I think that's the mark of a good song, you know. It takes a few listens. A lot of these I've found, if I make a CD of them, I'm like, okay, this is decent. I'll make a CD and put it in my car and listen to it for several months, and some will emerge as having longevity or whatever. I think this might be one of those.
no, I ain't got time for breaking my mind and doing battle in the city. No, I love to see you in the morning light and watch the sunrise in your eyes. I love to see you in the morning light. It's good to see just where your love lies. 'Cause I ain't got time for breaking my mind and doing battle in the city. No, I ain't got time for breaking my mind and doing battle in the city. No, I love to see you in the mountain stream, washing the fashion from your hair. I love to see you in the mountain stream, and I wanna make sure that you stay there. I love to see you falling on a hill, just rolling in the grass and make time fly. I love to see you falling on a hill, your cares of yesterday blown sky high. 'Cause we ain't got time for breaking our minds and doing battle in the city. No, we ain't got time for breaking our minds and doing battle in the city. Oh,
Tim Gately, a.k.a. Michael Gately, on Columbia.
The powerful cello and violin lobbyists at Columbia, again, digging into another.
Production supervised by Jimmy Wisner, whose name is on and possibly ruined hundreds of records.
Yeah.
Charlie Calello, Sandy Linzer, Jimmy Wisner, like there's names that you see over and over and over. And they move between some of these majors too. You're like, you know, you think, oh, he's staff at Columbia or staff at Epic. And these guys, they really got around. So keeping it mellow. Did you like that, Curbs?
It was cool. It's interesting to see what a song like what you perceive a song called "Battle in the City" is going to sound like, and how it's going to, you know, how the plot line will follow. And that was a cool ride. We were kind of talking while it was playing about how much less song that song could have been and still been a great song, because there was a minimum of $40,000 spent on union personnel.
Jimmy Wisner's like took a great song and was like, let's put all this other shit on it that we think the public wants.
Yeah.
When ultimately they just wanted to hear the individual and the artist. I'm assuming that. I'm in the wake of the Beatles and Dylan. You'd think that, like, let a guy have his day, you know?
He definitely breaks through the production cloud, but...
I mean, it's like the famous anecdote about Mitch Miller at Columbia, who was the head of Columbia, like, barely wanted to sign Dylan. Like, what is this shit? And Mitch Miller is anathema to good taste. Like, that shit. Fuck Mitch Miller, for real.
Mitch Miller beef.
Yeah,
Shots fired.
Definitely, you know, get at us, Miller's people. So keeping it mellow. This actually was pretty cool. This was kind of had some pretty cool timing. So the song is called Creekwater Song. It's by Michael Small and the Sporting Club Band. You read the fine print, and it's from the soundtrack of The Sporting Club, which is a film based on a book by one of my favorite authors, Thomas McGuane, who wrote 92 in the Shade and all this other stuff. I actually didn't even know that there was a Sporting Club film or a LP. This is from an LP. I haven't looked on the interwebs to see if it in fact exists, because a lot of times stuff is advertised and doesn't exist. But this is extremely fucking mellow, like instrumental. Michael Small on Buddha.
On Buddha.
hush, little baby, don't you cry. Hush, hush, little baby, don't you cry. Your daddy works in a rock and roll band, he's a drummer man. Works all night in a crummy dive down in Lincoln Street. Living in a rat trap, cancel you the hassle with a welfare plan. Lord, it's tough. Oh, Lord, it's tough. Lord, it's tough when you're married to the dream of a drummer man. Hush, hush, little baby, don't you cry. Hush, hush, little baby, by and by. Your daddy really gonna make it big, like a Ringo Dunn. Be an LA cat, live up in the canyon where the sun shines. If we can just hold on till we find that once in a lifetime plan. Oh Lord, it's tough. Lord, it's tough. Lord, it's tough when you're married to the dream of a drummer man. He's a drummer man, that's what he is, and I love him so. And I clean his jeans and I dry the tears when the breaks don't come and it ain't no fun. He's my man and he's a real good drummer. It's a bummer when you got to play the nickel and the dime kind of jobs don't pay. Hush, hush, little baby, don't you cry. Hush, hush, little baby, don't you cry. Your daddy works in a rock and roll band, he's a drummer man. Beats out time, drinks a lot of bad wine down on Lincoln Street. One day, daddy, get your record on the chart, but in the meantime, son, Lord, it's tough. Oh, Lord, it's tough. Lord, it's tough when you're married to the dream of the drummer man. Lord, it's tough. Oh, Lord, it's tough. Lord, it's tough when you're married to a drummer man.
So that was Lynn Christopher, drummer man, on Avco. Kirby, you were looking at pictures of Lynn Christopher online just now.
Yeah, she's really striking on the cover of her LP. I think.
Eternal beat digger boner juice, dude.
Yeah, if you're gonna get an erection at A1 Records, then this is
the wall. It was on the wall.
It was love at first sight.
She's known better. What we're clowning about is a song called "Let Me Take You."
Take Me With You.
Take Me With You on Paramount, which is also on 45, but dude's won the LP. It's kind of it was sampled by Company Flow, I think. But that was a little known piece that Miss Christopher did on Avco Embassy. Kind of obscure.
New to me.
She did a couple things outside of the Paramount. I think she's another one on Avco. She got some couple stray singles in the 70s, and that's it. Still don't know really what the deal is with her. I know that Paramount record had like early Kiss appearance, like Paul Stanley or something was on there. Like Anybody Gives a Shit, but. And it's a good record, but that's actually the Lynn Christopher I prefer. And before that, we listened to Michael Small, that like mellow, super hammocked out pond instrumental from the Sporting Club soundtrack.
On Buddha.
On Buddha. Thank you, Neil Bogart, for smoking weed in the Buddha office, signing cool shit. Next, we're going to go back to Cap. This is somebody named John T. Congos, and as I look at the label, it looks like this originated in Britain. It says a UK Pie production. This is a great song in any case called I Love Mary.
She isn't very pretty and she's got no fancy clothes. They say that she's old-fashioned, yet everybody knows I love Mary. The one she wants is far away and I'm just second best. she treats me like a brother. I know she hasn't guessed I love Mary. She's not so bright, but when she's by my side, makes me feel like every day that she's away, I need to pray. I love Mary. Oh, I know I should forget my love and leave it all behind, but everywhere I go alone with Mary on my mind, I love Mary. She's not so bright, but when she's by my side, makes me feel like every day that she's away, I'm gonna need to pray. I know I should forget my love and leave it all behind, but everywhere I go alone with Mary on my mind, I love Mary. Oh, I love
So that was John Congos on Cap, I Love Mary. What do you think, Curbs?
Yeah, man, I was rocking left to right, doing my shoulder lean.
I can't see anyone buying that, you know?
You were saying that when going through this stuff, made in the UK was oftentimes bad news.
No, not necessarily. In fact, some of it was really remarkable, and sometimes it doesn't say it originates in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the 70s, they kind of started to like not address that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if I listened to something I liked and did a little internet search on it, and sometimes it would turn out to be British. There was this one thing on Darren by a group called Wooden Horse. We're not going to hear that today. It was cool, like kind of like pentangle-y UK folk thing, but it was really hard to determine if they were British or American. Darren was, for the most part, a British label, but this was a domestic 45. It was cool. It was one of these things like, this doesn't sound like it came out of North Carolina or Ohio or something.
Is this going to be in your memoir?
Yes, this is chapter 4 entitled Major Label Musings. Next, we're going to listen to a record on Monument by a group called First National Band, a song called When Once It Was Good. Monument's actually a really fascinating label. Primarily a country concern. Chris Christopherson's first records, Dolly Parton. There's a lot of important music on Monument.
That Boots Randolph paper, that Yakety paper.
Paid the bills, man. That kept
Yakety stacks.
The Yakety stacks kept the lights on at Monument for sure. But, you know, as the hair got longer and dudes started rolling that Panama Red,
Yeah.
they branched out into a little rock and roll, often to really good result. This is a cool song. It's kind of a progressive thing. When you look at it and it's on Monument and you hear it, you're like, wow, this is really progressive for Monument. It fits in squarely with kind of late 60s rock and folk rock stuff. But for Monument, this was pretty adventurous. First National Band.
Time long having passed me, a girl who once entranced me. Does it not seem a crime to leave a thing far behind when once it was good? For words spoken before shadowing yesterday, the sorrow of passing away when one
First national band on Monument.
Yeah, pretty savage.
Broke it all out there at the end with
The first Monument 45 with satanic messages backmasked into it.
It says here the writing credit is Jay Ford. That might be Jim Ford, who was a kind of a cult singer-songwriter in the 70s and recently had a bit of a renaissance about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. Bear Family reissued all his stuff, including a bunch of unreleased records. Jay Ford. Great stuff. First national band, though. Moving along, we're going to listen to something on Philips. When you do find these major label things that you like, the names on there are the names that never show up on any other records. Like, it was totally an independent production. They had their thing, and they just released it. You know, no Charlie Colello, you know, no Jimmy Wisner. This particular one is by a fellow named Jerry Shore. And if you look at it quickly, it really does look like it says Jersey Shore. A song's called Talking to the Rain, produced by Peter Morris, arranged by Johnny Hawkins. Again, like, no idea. This is really good folk rock, cool minor key changes and stuff. It seems to be his only record. It's a white label Philips. Don't know if there's an issue. Here we go. So at face value, you're like, okay, it's just a folk rock song with a little beat or whatever. But like those little changes and the kind of little melodies, I find them like ringing through my brain like weeks after I listen to this kind of stuff.
Perfect portions of everything there, sort of.
Yeah, it's produced really well. I'd be curious to know a little bit more about background on that particular thing. Next record we're going to listen to is on Scepter, Florence Greenberg's label, who also put out so much stuff that, you know, probably didn't get past the promo stage, just endless for about a 3 or 4 year period. Fuck.
Just so many green lights.
So many green lights, so many favors owed. This particular record is by a band called Catapult. The song's called No Time to Turn Me On. People know this one. This isn't as obscure as Jerry Shore or some of the other stuff we listened to today. This band is incredible. I would love to hear a whole LP of this. This is really adventurous rock. Very modern in the changes and kind of how it rocks. And the funny thing was I had 2 copies of this, and I taped one. And then one day I was like, just put the record on rather than the CD. And it was different. There's a little acoustic guitar solo, kind of Spanish guitar solo towards the end of this. And then this other pressing, I guess, I had of it, it looked exactly the same. The other pressing, it didn't have that little...
How weird.
It's like, Jesus Christ. No one gave a fuck to begin with, and you're going to make it twice.
And I have to keep up with this now?
And I got to fucking keep track of this stuff. But like I said, this is real, like, modern stuff from 45 years ago.
reason, and every answer comes out wrong. If you last too long, girl, you'll never get by on your own. But now you're all wised up to life. You got no time to turn it on. Yes, I take a look around me, then I see just what went wrong. I take another look inside me, and I'll be back where I belong. You've been hanging around too long, girl. Guess you couldn't get by on your own. Now you're all wised up to life. You ain't got time to turn it on.
So that was Catapult on Scepter. And I guess I kept the one without the little Spanish guitar solo because I didn't hear it in there. Or it might have
Dante.
something to do with these cartridges, some kind of mono stereo thing. Weird shit has happened
Get
before.
it together, man.
With this audiophile system? Shit.
Truly burnt.
You like that?
Yeah. I was also thinking about how I like actual catapults, though, too.
When's the last time you fucked with a catapult?
It's been too long.
Your medieval madness era?
Medieval times.
Medieval times.
Northwest suburbs. Dragon eggs.
Straight up.
Catch us tonight. 10 to 2. No cover.
Moving along, we're going to listen to something on Pompeii, which was a Texas-based label that for a short period had distribution through Atlantic. There's some Ike and Tina Turner records on Pompeii. It's kind of a strange label. So this particular thing is by the Greta Spoon Band, and it was produced by a guy named Daryl Glenn, who's kind of a country geezer. He did stuff on Valley and RCA in the 50s. Maybe these were his kids or something, because this is certainly not the handiwork of some dusty cowboy from the 40s and 50s. Song's called Close Your Eyes. Really cool vibe on this. Like, it's so underproduced. Compared to everything else we've been listening to, it's like underproduced, which is a rarity for something that was having national distribution like this particular thing.
Let's vibe out, man.
Greta Spoon Band.
Close your eyes. Come with me, woman. You know I love you. Close your eyes. Open the door. Let love shine in. Tell me you love me. Close your eyes. Oh, love is here. I just can't tell you how much I need you. Close your eyes.
The Greta Spoon Band on Pompeii.
Yeah, one take.
Close your eyes. But you feel what I'm saying, the kind of like underdone part of that really adds a lot of charm to it. No strings and horns there.
Who needs them?
So that's almost a solid hour of major label Arcana here. Finish it up by playing truly like, why did this come out kind of record. This is a group called Springwater. This came out on Cotillion 71. The song's called I Will Return. I asked why did it come out because it's instrumental, which when looking for a hit in the late 60s and 70s very rarely was an instrumental the cash cow that folks were listening to, except Yakety Sax. But by and large, as a rule to live by, vocals were important to smashes at this time. So this Springwater, as the little bit of internet business I could find out about, is a guy named Phil Cordell, who was actually British. This goes back to it doesn't say it's a British production, as we were talking about earlier. It is, in fact, a British production. Seems to be their only single. This is so modern. So modern. Like, this could be some of the newest, like, kind of big indie Arcade Fire
what
type
did
shit.
Pitchfork give it?
They haven't rated it yet, you know? They just had, like...
Wake up, Pitchfork.
Anyway, this is Springwater. This has been Dogpatch. We've been listening to major label Marginalia. My name's Dante Carfagna. That's John Kirby. Till next time, adios.